I'm Richard Fitzgerald. This is Dubai Works, where we interview the business leaders making a difference in this great city.
That business with scalability was very interesting to me.
I like building something that has legacy.
Lots of business events took place in Dubai this week. There was Dubai Links, Festival of Creativity, the Retail Summit with people like Tommy Hilfiger attending, the AIBC Eurasia event where Gary Vaynerchuk spoke. Last weekend there was also a big crypto event, Arts DAO Summit, conference party took place. We were present at Dubai Links. There's been lots of different activity happening throughout the region. This interview this week is all about a household name in Dubai in terms of brands. It's called The Entertainer. They've been around for over 20 years. They've gone through different leadership in recent years, but it's one of those brands where, you know, once you arrive in Dubai, you're told to get The Entertainer. It'll help you save money across the city. Of course, you're also told to follow Love in Dubai. I should say, you know, that you can get all your news from there. And these are some of the brands that are associated when you're new to the city. So it's been fascinating to discuss the business side of The Entertainer in this episode. Enjoy the conversation. Welcome back to another episode of Dubai Works Business Podcast. On today's episode, we're joined by Ahmed Gaber. He is the Chief Executive Officer of The Entertainer, a brand, of course, that's a household name across the region. It's an app with over 6 million users where you can find the biggest offers and discounts that help you save on meals, experiences, travel, and more, all in one place. So today we're going to talk about The Entertainer, how it started, what it is today, its approach in the Dubai market in particular, and what's next. Good morning, Ahmed.
Good morning, Rich. Thank you very much for having me today.
It's a pleasure to have you on. I know you have a lot of responsibilities, so thanks for taking the time out, and it's good to chat.
It's a great pleasure to be with you.
Amazing. So tell us, The Entertainer, what is it and what's your role?
The entertainer purpose is actually to help people to live smarter life. So we are helping people not only to save money, but to have a smarter way of looking at things. So in a country like UAE, and specifically in a city like Dubai, where you have great offers and great places to go to, The Entertainer helps you to make sure that you are getting the best out of it. And we help people to never pay the full price. In addition to that, also, we help them to see the best experiences in the city. And that's our purpose. Our purpose is to help you to live a smarter life, help you to save money. That's for our consumers. And for our corporate clients, the B2B clients which we help them to have better engagements with their clients, to introduce better value to their clients. So I would say that The Entertainer is a company which just brings smile to either consumers or our corporate clients.
And for, you know, most people who have lived in Dubai over the last decade or so will know The Entertainer. But someone in other markets, how do you describe it? I get the purpose, but do you say it's a consumer value app, or is there a category that this goes in?
The Entertainer has two wings. So there is the B2C wing, which is the apps which you and a lot of people are using it either in Dubai or Abu Dhabi or in Qatar, Oman, Bahrain, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Singapore. So in many countries. So that's the B2C part of it.
And soon Egypt.
And we are heading to Egypt. So we started our journey in Egypt, and we should be live in Egypt. And you might be the first to know we are going live in Egypt in July 2023.
Exclusive for Dubai Works.
Very good. This date was never shared before.
Yeah.
And I'm very lucky that I have a great team which is building up a great proposition for Egypt. And Egypt is a very big country, so you need to have really a strong team to be able to cover it. That's the B2C side of the business. And the B2C side of the business is where also we exist in many countries while we don't have physical existence. So we have some clients in which they need service or loyalty programs in Latin America. in Africa, in countries where we don't have offices. And the quality of our business is we can expand to any country without the need to have an office in these countries because it's all technology based. So that's the quality of the entertainer, that we can be anywhere for anyone at any time.
So the loyalty part is obviously important, but Ahmed, it's also a marketplace in terms of you do have vendors and then customers. So there's two sides to that side as well.
Yeah, so let me take you a step back here. So what the entertainer on the B2B side is doing, the B2C is very clear. It's an app, experience app, B2C, where you buy the app, or even we recently launched a free version of the app so that everyone can get taste of what the entertainer is. And it has also different offers like travel, right? Even we have now home delivery, where you can enjoy the buy one, get one or the discount at your home. So that's the B2C side, which is quite obvious and clear. On the B2B side, the quality of the entertainer lies around three pillars. First pillar is the technology. So we build the technology for our B2B clients. To give you some examples, like Visa and MasterCard Priceless apps is built by the entertainer. Visa Experience app is built by the entertainer. The Blue app of Arfotem is built by the entertainer. So there is the technology piece. So that's our first point of strength, because you can customize that based on what the client need. Every industry is different. So telcos like Omantel or like Vodafone, who are our clients, every industry is different. They want to have a different user experience. So we built this technology. And then the second pillar or the second layer, which is offers and the discounts. So also we provide that as well. And then comes the real edge, which is very close to my heart, which is the engagement piece. Because if your loyalty program does not engage your clients in the right way, then you are just launching a loyalty program because your management asked you to launch a loyalty program this year. But we help our clients to have better engagement index, and we help them to have the right tools to measure the engagement per segment, per client, and to the level that we develop the marketing communications to them. And sometimes even we get the approvals from our clients to send directly messages and to create marketing campaigns and materials on behalf of our corporate clients to their clients as well. So that's the level of trust between us and between our corporate clients, because you'll never allow someone to reach directly to your clients unless you trust what they're going to say to your clients.
Definitely. And what would you say the split is of the B2B, B2C, but also the three elements of the B2B in terms of the makeup of the business today?
While this is a little bit confidential information, but I will try to be as politically right as I can be. I would say it's almost 50-50, and it's different from time to time. So sometimes when there is a huge corporate deal or huge corporate contract, the B2B becomes bigger. And in some seasons, when, for example, when we launch a special app, like we have the tourist app for the entertainer, which is now some people comes to the country and they cannot, and they should not actually buy the entertainer for the whole year. So, for example, during certain seasons, when the tourist app is sold more than anything else during a certain season, the B2C becomes bigger business. So it's always, it depends on the season, and it depends also on how big the corporate deals can be sometimes.
Yeah, fair enough. And just to give people a point, so if I download the app, downloading the app is free, but purchasing the entertainer for the year has a fee, and I pay it once, and then I can use it as much as I want. Is that the deal?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And also what we discovered is some people don't want to use it for the whole year because they are here in assignment. For example, Dubai is a super attractive place for the best talents in the world. So they come sometimes to do a job for 3 months. So we came up with a new version of the entertainer only for 3 months. For example, if you are coming here for an assignment, so you can pay for 3 months, and there are different versions.
How much is it for the year?
The 3 month. Now you are quizzing me. The 3 month.
Roughly.
I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, in the range of 200 or 300 dirhams only.
And the year is?
The year is 600, and
Okay.
there are versions. Like there is the global version, which gives you access to all the countries.
Yeah.
Given also that Dubai again is a very attractive city, so you have a lot of people who travels across the GCC and many countries. So there is a global version which is in the range of 700 dirhams.
Okay.
And then there is a premium version which is in the range of 600 dirhams specifically for UAE. And we have this premium version in every GCC country as well, which is giving you access to the fine dining piece. So it has an element of fine dining and experience, access to private beaches or private clubs. And then there is the smart version, or we call it classic, but I call it smart. I call it smart personally, and that's the direction because it's not classic, it's smart. So if you don't need really to go to the fine dining and you want to go to, I would say, mid-range kind of restaurants, that's where you pay 400, and if that's enough for you, then we don't want you to overpay for something that you don't use it.
Exactly. Interesting. So there's a lot to it. There's a lot of layers to it. It's obviously evolved as a consumer offering and B2B. I really want to get into your background because I know it's a fascinating story, but just for context, the entertainer, it started off as a book. Can you tell us a little bit about the origin story of how it grew in Dubai? Because it's a great Dubai business success story.
Yeah, so I have to give a great credit to the founder of the entertainer. Her name is Donna, and she found the entertainer, and without her, I wouldn't be here today. So this lady actually started it with a book. And if she's going to listen to this, I want her to know that I'm thanking her because she is the reason behind all of what we are here now, what we're doing now. So it was a book, and this book had vouchers, and everyone in Dubai started to use it day after day, and the book started to get bigger and bigger and thicker day after day. And then the company started to go digital. So the digital journey started from 2013 or 14.
When was it originally started?
The company started in 2001.
Okay,
so
wow.
we are a very well-rooted company. We are more than 20 years in the business, and started by 2 people only, and now we are more than 450 people.
Wow.
In various countries, various markets. Then the digital journey started, and my role now as a new CEO of the company is to take this digital journey into a completely different spectrum by augmenting AI, augmenting payments, augmenting location services. And that's the real transformation, which I'm obsessed about now. I call myself Chief Transformation Officer more than Chief Executive Officer, I would say.
And that kind of suits your background. So you weren't in, say, the loyalty space. You were more in the payments space. And can you talk a little bit about your career that led you to this point?
Yeah, so, okay, now you are bringing too many memories. So originally, I graduated as engineer, communications and electronics engineer. And I didn't want to do that, to be honest, but it was my parents' wish. So I had a lot of respect to their vision, because when you are young, you need to listen. So I went into engineering, and I didn't know that the engineering will help me that much to organize my thoughts and to look at things in a different way. So after engineering, I started into the payments right away. In the middle, I was in the army. And during the army time, I was so lucky to work with great army leaders, which put me in a very quick and fast track on the leadership.
This was in Egypt. So you've got
Egypt.
the engineering side and then the leadership and discipline side as well.
Discipline side, absolutely. You nailed it. The army gives you discipline, gives you the ability to lead and the ability to drive things to happen. And then I joined a payment company in Egypt, and that company called Cashnet, and it was for the first time ever in Egypt a company to do ATM driving business, which was very unique business for the entire Middle East, which is in a very simple word, all the ATMs which you see in the streets. Most of the banks, they don't have the time and the capacity to run it themselves. They don't have the time to fill to put the money into it, to make the maintenance, to make the connections, to put the software, to upgrade it. So our company at that time was founded in Egypt to drive these ATMs for these companies, and that was my first experience to get into the payments. And I remember very well that when I was an engineer at that time, I shouldn't leave the ATM without making sure that it's working and it can dispense money when you use your card. So I used to sit beside the ATM even sometimes for 6-7 hours waiting for the first customer to use it. I could have been the first customer to use it, but I didn't have. I have to be very honest with you. You know, all of us, when we start our careers, you will not have enough money in your salary to test every ATM and to take money. So sometimes I had to wait for 7 hours patiently for the first customer to use it. And that was my first actually learning about the branding, because at that time we used to put Cashnet on the ATM. However, people used to trust the ATM which comes with a bank name. Like here, you wouldn't go and put your card in an ATM which you don't know belongs to which bank. So Cashnet at that time was not known. And at that time, I only understood that people there are like 3-4 ATMs beside each other, but people don't go to mine. They go to the ones which are known. So that was my aha moment where I said, oh, the branding is so important. And I went and I spoke to the CEO because I was part of the co-founders. And I said to him, I think we need to be better in branding. He said, why? I said, because I see people go beside our ATMs and they select others. So that was my first entrance to the business. And then he said to me, you know what? I think you are in the wrong place. Come and join the business team. And at that moment, that was my beginning of being out of the engineering to the area which I love to be, which is in the business.
Amazing. That's a great story. And then you went on to work with Visa.
Before that, I was lucky enough that Cashnet was acquired by a company called NPC, National Processing Service, which is servicing the banks to be to help them to have cards and payments business as a third-party processor. So banks didn't have the capacity to be certified by Visa, MasterCard, to build all of these systems. So again, it's my luck, which is it was a new business in Egypt. And in 2 to 3 years, I was promoted to be the head of support and implementation, which puts me in the front line when the company wants to do anything with any bank, because I have to understand what I need to implement. And then comes a support part where I have to fix any problem. So I was leading big teams at that time. And then Visa headhunted me in 2006 to join the team in Saudi Arabia as head of operations for Visa in Saudi Arabia. It was a very complex program between Visa and the Saudi Central Bank to merge the two businesses together on one card. And we did it successfully. And then Visa decided to put me as a country manager for Visa in Saudi Arabia. And then my journey in the global leadership started in Visa, where I became a vice president. And I started to take over the GCC except UAE. And then I moved to North Africa. So I worked for Visa for 16 years.
Amazing.
I left it in 2021. And I came to join the Entertainer, and I was so impressed by the quality of the people of the Entertainer and the purpose of the Entertainer. Like if last year only we managed to help people to save $100 million on their meals, on their experience. This is a purpose which makes you wakes up every day and feel that you want to do more. You want to give people more.
That's a nice round number, a big number too. So that's amazing. So obviously, you come in at a leadership level at the Entertainer, as you are now, and you described how your career kind of led in that direction. But apart from the sort of leadership position, clearly the Entertainer isn't a fintech app. But so what are the things that you've learned over your career that you've been able to leverage and work within the Entertainer? And what are the things that you've had to sort of start from scratch and understand a different business?
That's a great question, Chris. So, unless you evolve your business and you evolve your value proposition and you change your user experience, you're gonna become obsolete and easily replaced in this quickly developing market. So it's not me; it's my team. To be honest, last year we are all together. We decided to have a different experience, which is called card-linked offers, and we were blessed by our partners like Visa and MasterCard, where we engaged with them and we became certified by them using some middleware and softwares in the middle. And now we are processing around 250,000 transactions for Visa and MasterCard, where people can just swipe their cards. For some of our corporate clients, just swipe your card and get your discount or get your cash back without even the need to open the app. That was a proof of concept which we have done last year.
That's huge. That's interesting.
And this is a value when you bring the payments into the loyalty, you get into a very seamless experience, and you have an edge which increases the stickiness between you and your corporate clients, increasing the stickiness between you, the corporate client, and their client consumers as well. And we are taking that actually to many clients this year. So
that's amazing.
We tested it last year. It was very successful. It wasn't easy to be done. To integrate and to change. It's a lot of engineering. We have a great engineering team in Pakistan. We have more than 150 very smart engineers. So they stood up for it, and they did it. And now we are expanding that across many countries and across many apps.
Amazing, fascinating. That's a really good example of using that. And you can just think of the consumer behavior of forgetting to. They paid for the app, but forgetting to open it and not knowing that the restaurant they happen to be in has the offer. So it takes that sort of away, and then they swipe their card and they're informed, oh, that's included.
Absolutely. And actually, again, you are nailing it again, as if you are working with us, Rich. So now also we have added actually with a great partner, which is called Mall IQ. It's a New York-based company where when you are walking in a mall and there is an offer beside the restaurant you are passing by, you will get a notification from the app telling you, oh, hey, come on, there is a great offer here in this area. So even if our client doesn't know that there is an offer in this area, we will remind our clients that there is an offer, and this drives business to our partners and also drives discounts to our clients, which they can miss or they can forget about.
And how many partners, how many vendors are signed up to the Entertainer? And do you continue, as new retail stores and new offerings like golf clubs and all the different things that you offer, is there constantly a team working with them, and is it constantly refreshing and adding new inventory to that?
Absolutely. So we call them the merchant relations team. So Keith is our chief merchants officer. So they have relationships with the restaurants, they have relationships with the hotels, they have relationships with the spas, with the clinics, with golf clubs, with even with the barbershops. So we try to be with our consumers wherever they go. So it's not only about food and beverage. People sometimes think that we are only into food and beverage area, but we are more than that. We are with you even in the car services. We give you discount there. In the travel, we are giving you discount there. And what I'm very proud of, which is my team did as well, which we wanted to be with you even when you travel globally. So we signed last year a very nice agreement with the Attraction World. Attraction World, they have around 2,500 attractions globally. To mention few like Disney, like Universal Studios, like Eiffel Tower, all of these attractions in Europe and US. So this is something we're adding very soon to our corporate clients, and we might also add it to our B2C app as well.
Amazing.
So we want to be with you everywhere.
Do you have a competitor?
I wouldn't say that there is a company now can avail all of this, can avail the technology, can avail the engagement, can avail the offers. But I consider
there are loyalty things, yeah.
So for a company to avail all of this, it's a little bit difficult, you know. But I consider whenever I wake up at any morning, I consider that there will be a competitor tomorrow. So we compete with ourselves, to be honest. So we keep developing and we keep adding features to make sure that we are always ahead. Especially after COVID, before I become a CEO, during this period of time, the company faced some difficulties because, you know, restaurants were closed, people were not going out. So to rebuild all of this very quickly and to get these merchants back, and to also delivery, for example, we didn't have delivery. Now we have got delivery.
At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Ranked #1 in innovation for 10 consecutive years and #2 among public universities for employability, ASU isn't just ahead of the curve, it's creating new paths to success. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online, that's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Service, so even if, God forbids, something like COVID can happen again, people can still enjoy to get the entertainer at their doorstep. And
how does that work? How does the delivery work?
You open the app, you go. We have 5 tabs in the app. In the middle, you press delivery, and you put your card like any other competing company in the delivery. I wouldn't mention their names. And you get your buy one, get one and discounts at your doorstep the same way as if you are in the restaurant.
Okay.
And recently, also, we wanted to expand our delivery, and we wanted to have kind of world-class service for our delivery. So maybe also it is something new for you. I'm telling you much today. So we signed a very nice agreement with Kareem, where we are expanding our delivery across the UAE in a big time, because the number of orders are increasing massively. We used to have like less than 10,000 delivery orders a week. Now we are heading to more than 100,000 a week. So we needed to invest in this area, and we will keep investing, and then we're going to take it to all of our countries as well.
Wow, amazing. But so just on the category and the industry part, there are different apps, that aggregator type apps, right? There is, some that came out of the US, say for the fitness industry, like Guava Pass or Class Pass. There's some for sort of wellness and beach clubs and things like that.
Yeah.
Do you see them, Ahmed, as different category? Are they more specific on one area, whereas the entertainer covers all different sectors?
I think they are kind of dedicated for that, but we didn't forget about that as well. So we recently also signed with a great company called Ingo, which is dedicated into this as well, dedicated into fitness, dedicated into tracking your health. They have kind of smart bottles to measure how much water you drink every day, give you alert if you are not drinking enough. and we are introducing it to our B2B clients as well, so that because the companies wants to make sure we run something called employees loyalty platforms. So for the companies, they want their employees to have access to cheaper places or to pay lesser as a value added to their employees. So also we are helping them with this partnership to help their employees to live a better life and more healthy life. So we just signed this partnership, and it's going live very soon, where our corporate clients will be able to have to help their employees to have healthier life or to live healthier life.
How important do you think? You mentioned a few partnerships. It's clearly a strategy. Is that one way of dealing with change all the time? Because, for example, Kareem they've opened up a membership offering, and they keep innovating as well. Does the entertainer need to keep innovating, and is partnerships a key way to do that?
Absolutely. It's in this world, actually, it's not smart if you would like to do everything on your own. It will be a lot of cost on the company. It will be a lot of work on our engineers. So if there is a partner which can enable us to have faster access and better quality. So, for example, for the tourist app, we could have just go and try to sell it ourselves. But now we are signing a lot of partnerships with hotels, with airlines, so that they can sell the app even before the person travels and arrives to the UAE. On the delivery, we are also signing with the best delivery partners in the country and in every country, the last mile delivery, the tracking companies. For the travel, for example, we are revamping our travel proposition, where you can book online, you can get your discounts online, you can refund online, you can do all of that online. So you cannot do that alone. In fact, you can, but it will take time, it will take efforts, it will cost you much. So why not to become win-to-win, win-win, where we add more partners to our network, we help them to grow, and we help ourselves to save cost and to speed or to the go-to-market becomes much faster and
Definitely.
much better.
Yeah, it seems to be a more like abundance approach. We see Microsoft do it a lot. So previously people would have said they're just competitors to one company, to Apple or to Google, but now they just partner with everyone. And then by doing that, they've partnered with OpenAI now, and they have a ChatGPT AI search engine that people had forgotten about, Bing. And so it seems that partnerships is a really strategic way of being relevant.
Absolutely, and I'm very lucky that we have partnership team. So, and that was very one of the very early decisions which I had to make, which is to hire a partnership team. Because it's not about sales here, it's about building meaningful partnership, which can help our partners and can help us. So we have a partnership team, and even sometimes, by the way, we partner with our competition. So to your point, while we are a loyalty company, there are some, or engagement, I would call ourselves an engagement company. There are some loyalty platforms which they don't have our content. So we support them by the content, and we go hand in hand together. And we have a lot of these models where we work with companies where people think that we are competition, but we partner together to give the best offer to the corporate clients at the end. So we work with a lot of loyalty companies actually hand in hand to give the best to our clients.
Amazing. So a couple of questions sort of on the future of firstly, in terms of market entry, obviously the entertainer has, as you mentioned earlier, it's already entered a lot of markets in the region and beyond. How does market entry grow as you're looking to Egypt now? What are the factors? Because everyone, sector agnostic, people think, okay, I've been successful, then how do I grow in another market from scratch? How does the entertainer approach it?
Well, we can spend a long time answering this question, but to enter a market, it's a very complex operation. You are building a brand. You are building a team. You are building a promise. And a lot of people actually in Egypt, they know about the entertainer because, again, Dubai is a beloved country or UAE is a beloved country by the Egyptians. So they come either to enjoy their holidays, or we have here a lot of Egyptians, expats. And I will surprise you that the highest number of the entertainer subscribers in Dubai are Egyptians. So they know the entertainer. So we wanted to build a strong brand in Egypt. So we partnered, and that's not a secret. It was actually revealed in the media in Egypt recently. We partnered with the Post Office of Egypt, and they have around 22 million customers.
Very smart.
And the banked population in Egypt, all in all, is around 38 million. So if you reach to 22 million with one partner, which is a great partner like the Post Office, you are getting into half of the country directly. Then now we need to build the right story for the entertainer in Egypt. And as you are aware, it's not a secret that Egypt faced some difficulties economically in the last few months, where there was a major currency devaluation. So I believe it is a very right time for us now to help people to save money in Egypt. And I'm particularly engaged into this because you as a CEO, your role is to give guidance and to enable your team to work and to produce. But for Egypt specifically, I'm particularly engaged, given that I'm Egyptian, and my last assignment when I used to be the head of North Africa for Visa, I lived in Egypt for 3 years. So I'm helping my team to make sure that we will have the right entry into the market from product proposition point of view, from brand image point of view, even I usually then get into the hiring process for everyone in the company, but because also again we are building a new team in Egypt, so I always make sure that I do 15 minutes interview culture check to make sure that we are building the right team which can work together as one team, coming from the same DNA, which is very close to the DNA which we have here in Dubai as well, and in every country, and that's very important to me. So the employees, the business partners, and the brand, if you get all of that right, and the proposition, then you are not missing any details. And that's why I'm particularly engaged in that. Building the brand for the first time in the country is very important. So it's one of my cases where I have to go down, and then I go up to the strategy level again.
Yeah, that's brilliant. No, thank you. It's a really useful answer. Obviously, you could go into more detail. There's lots of other things with market entry, pricing, legal, hiring, team structures, offerings, all this stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's very complex.
Yeah.
To be very honest, it's not easy. Yeah.
It is. It's almost like doing a startup again, isn't it?
It is, and then you start seeing some signs of success. So for example, even before launching at the entertainer B2C brand in Egypt, now we have 3 clients already signed for the B2B services, signed and
ready to go.
One of them already went live. And 2 are ready to go whenever they are ready to finalize all the APIs and the connections and the technology.
How long did it take you to get merchants on board? And what's the minimum merchants you think you need before you launch?
I would give the credit first to our merchants team. They are so good in this. Believe it or not, in no time now we got around 270 merchants before we go live. The mandate which we put on ourselves is we have to have minimum 500 merchants. But I think the team gonna surprise me, and we're gonna have much more than that. But I wouldn't put too much weight on the number of merchants. I would put my weight on the quality of these merchants and how relevant is it to the consumer needs in the country.
Yeah, it's that positioning piece, isn't
the
it?
positioning,
And
the
they may have-
quality. The quality for me is much more. I can say that I can have 3,000 restaurants tomorrow in Egypt. That's not difficult. But the most difficult part is how the quality of these merchants, the quality of these restaurants, the quality of the hotels. Luckily, because entertainer is already existing in the UAE, so we were able to take a lot of international brands which we serve here to Egypt easily. So it's one contract, we add one country to it. So that's how we are able to expand very easily to Egypt by just adding one country to the contract.
Yeah, fascinating. Amazing. But so Ahmed, in terms of ownership of the entertainer and what that means for this current juncture, so there was an exit and now there's an owner. Is that private? Is it private equity? Does it mean that are your objectives aligned with, the plan for the next few years, and what does that look like?
So the company is owned by different partners, but mainly the biggest owner is Gulf Finance House, which is a brilliant private equity and investor. I believe, and I'll be very frank with you, they got the company in 2018, 19, and then COVID hit, so it wasn't a great time for them. And I feel for them, of course.
Unlucky, yeah.
Yeah, unlucky for that, but they are investing much this year and evidence. We are expanding in many countries. We are expanding in delivery. We are expanding in payments. We are expanding in AI in two fronts, either in the marketing. We are now, I have a mandate to my marketing team to use AI for marketing. And they have a mandate also to my technology team to use AI in our technology. So I think this year we started to see incredible results. I thank my team again, and to make this happen, it's not only about just investing in the technology or investing in the marketing. The most difficult part of it is to change the mindset of the people. And I believe that for any new CEO, when he becomes a CEO of a company, he must be quite bold when it comes to these changes, to change the mindset of the people. You will find some people immediately able to digest the change and to drive the change with you. And you will see some people are against the change, which you will do your best to explain to them and bring them with you. And you will see some people who are against the change, which you have to make some tough changes and some tough decisions in order to have the right culture in the company and to have connected teams. So in my opinion, to drive this transformation, it starts by the culture and the people.
Yeah,
and one of the things which I'm very happy with that we did it. The Women International Day was a few days back. What we used to do, we used to give nice gifts to our great ladies who are working with us. But this year we decided, in addition to that as well, to initiate a new initiative which is called Gender Payment Equality Initiative. So we are looking for each and every lady working in our entertainer in every country, and if she is getting paid lesser than someone who has the same experience and the same job, we are increasing her salary. And I'm so proud of our HR, Karen. She came with this initiative, and I want to thank her if she will be listening to this, because it was her idea. I wouldn't take the credit for that, but I'm so proud of that.
Yeah, that's an amazing initiative, and good you brought it up. But just in terms of, so the entertainer, it seems to be going through transformation with a chief transformation officer, 22 years in, private equity owned. And it sounds like they're investing. So if they're investing into a company that's, going through change, then the emphasis won't always be on profits. But was the entertainer profitable post-COVID? It is profitable.
It is profitable, and this year it is, alhamdulillah, it is very profitable. So it's almost doubling what we got last year.
Yeah.
So yes, it is profitable. and the shareholders, I think they are extremely happy with the current progress of this profit. The net profit is increasing in a great way. At the very same time, as well as a CEO, your job is not only to increase the top line, but also to cut edges and to see where you are spending in an areas which you don't need to spend. So we also did a cost optimization exercise. Like, for example, if you are having 3 vendors for data hosting, why? What is the reason behind that? If you can have only 2. For example, if you are using like 9 different softwares for marketing, then how can we optimize that? If you have an office, like our office, we're still in the same office, but our office was so huge, was so big. So why don't you have a smaller space? Why would you be shy of doing that? Because if you do that, then you can help your employees to earn more. You can save this money to give it to your employees. You can save this money to empower your platform. So we have done a lot of cost optimization stuff in addition to focus on the top line, and they are going hand in hand in a great way.
Yeah, I get it. That's a really interesting way of looking at it. So you're being smart with your capital resources.
I assume so.
You're trying to be. Yeah. So finally, and I kind of phrase this in 2 ways. So, the Gulf region is buoyant economically at the moment. We came on the back of, high energy prices. There's been World Cups. There's been expos. There's been, alhamdulillah, the region is feeling good, especially in the Gulf. But there's obviously macroeconomic factors elsewhere. What's your outlook? Are you bullish on the region? And also, newish into the role of the CEO, in 4 or 5 years' time, what do you think would be success? Is it to increase the value of the entertainer? Or it sounds like to me that the entertainer it really feels like it's a tech company. And then to that end, would there be any, not that you admit it, but would there be any murmurings of like a listing, of a tech listing in the region and things like that? Or is any of that on the outlook for the future?
That's a loaded question. So it's like 5 questions in one question. So on the macroeconomic level, I will use my experience during my visa days because I used to work only with banks, so we used to have a lot of experience into this area. Rich, I'll be very honest with you. It's super difficult for anyone now to expect what will happen tomorrow. Like if you read about what happened in the Silicon Valley yesterday when 2 banks were put under the government control, that was a surprise to the world. The Middle East, from political point of view, I'm talking about the entire Middle East, not just the GCC. Is always surprising you, like Arab Spring happened a few years ago. Some countries went into a difficult situation. So I wouldn't say that anyone now can speak with confidence about the macroeconomics and what will happen tomorrow, given what's happening in Europe and the war and all of this. But what I would say is you need to have enough diversity in your business to be ready for shocks. So that's what I'm working on now. So the diversity which we are having by having many countries which can help us if anything happens, God forbids, in one of the countries, then we can focus on another country. If the B2B will be impacted because of the macroeconomics in these times, the corporates will maybe cut a little bit of their budgets when it comes to loyalty, and they will focus on the core of their businesses. Then the B2C will be my safety net. As I told you, we are adding more diversity into our business lines. So we are entering into payments, we're entering into even money transfers, we're entering into delivery, we are entering into many other things which I have to keep it secret for now. And that's what leads me to the second part of your question, if the company going to be listed, if the company going to be sold. It depends really on how successful we're going to be this year in the journey of the transformation. And then the board will decide what to do. Given that we unlocked a certain type of potential this year, which is even the board and the shareholders were happily surprised by all what we are adding to the platform and the partnerships we are signing. So I think this year will be the year which will decide what will happen to the entertainer after. If it's going to be a listed company, great. If it's going to be part of a bigger group of companies, great as well. If it's going to be even much bigger as entertainer itself. We really don't know. It depends on what my team and I will do this year. And I have very positive outlook for what we will do.
Brilliant.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Thanks for sharing that. It's a very diplomatic answer, but it makes sense. It makes sense with, you can't predict the future, but you're building that infrastructure and framework.
To be ready.
Yeah.
If anything happens. That's you cannot predict. Yeah. It's very difficult now to predict, it's super difficult. The political scene is very complex. Very complex. So all what you need to do as a CEO in this case is to make sure that your company will be protected if anything happens by diversity. Diversity of income, diversity of locations, diversity of business lines. And that's what I'm really, that's my core job, is to make the company always profitable, whatever happens around you.
Amazing. Pleasure talking to you this morning. Thanks for coming on the show, and we wish you luck in the future.
Thank you very much, Chris, for inviting me. I enjoyed the conversation, and I want to say something. I study psychology, and when I entered into your place here, there is a very positive vibe in this office, in this place, and I congratulate you for your leadership, because this vibe wouldn't be felt from the first moment I entered without a great team and a great leadership. So I thank you, and I congratulate you as well for your great leadership.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris.
Take care. Well, definitely Ahmed has a lot on his plate with the size the business is now. It's always fascinating to hear new leaders come in and the vision of where they want to take the company. So that was really interesting. We'll follow Entertainer with new insights now as it goes forward. I'd like to thank our producers as always. There's a lot of people who put effort into making sure that this episode goes out everywhere. There's Ali Khalil and Ali Baba in the studio, so they do the live streaming on Smashy TV. They also do the editing and the cuts of the videos. You'll see clips on Twitter, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Smashy Business. Bringing together the guests and the distribution is something Shahir Al-Kindi, as a producer, does. Those guys were so busy this week. We were live. Of course, we did an episode drop. Bonus episodes from Dubai Links, and now we've more interviews and episodes today with the Entertainer. As always, you can subscribe on smashy.tv or on mobile devices and on smart TV devices. 50% of our audience is now coming from smart TVs. Most people are watching the futsal, volleyball and handball in the UAE on Smashy TV Sports. And if you're listening on the podcast, please do like, comment, subscribe. We'll be running throughout Ramadan, the holy month of Ramadan. We will have every episode on Fridays. It's live at 11 a.m. and then it goes out on the channels. A lot of you also subscribe to the Dubai Works newsletter on LinkedIn. There's over 3,000 subscribers. So that's another place where this is distributed. Have a good week and speak to you next week.